The weight of a star. In the summer of 1930, a 19-year-old man from Madras stood on the deck of a ship slicing its way toward England. His name was Subrahmanyan Chandrasekhar, and he was leaving behind everything he knew. He had earned his passage not through privilege, but through the sheer force of his intellect, carrying a scholarship to the hallowed halls of Cambridge University. His luggage was sparse: books, blank paper, and a mind that refused to be still. The journey was a crucible of isolation. On that vessel, a microcosm of the British Empire, the other passengers, mostly English, kept a polite but firm distance from the young Indian student. Chandrasekhar found himself adrift in a sea of unspoken prejudice. Yet, in that solitude, he found his sanctuary. He retreated into the revolutionary new ideas of quantum mechanics, wrestling with the equations of Bohr, Heisenberg, and Schrödinger. Surrounded by the indifference of man and the vastness of the ocean, he turned his gaze inward, and then upward, and began to calculate the fate of the stars. He focused on the final sputtering moments of sun-like stars. He knew that after exhausting their nuclear fuel, they were destined to shrink into white dwarfs, incredibly dense, Earth-sized embers glowing with residual heat. The accepted wisdom, championed by the giants of the field, was that this was a stable, final state. But Chandrasekhar's calculations, scribbled on paper under the patient gaze of the moon over the Arabian Sea, told a different, more violent story. Applying the principles of relativity to the quantum physics of electrons, he discovered something that no one had seen before. There was a limit. A star's gravity, the crushing force of its own immense mass, was at war with the quantum pressure of its electrons pushing outward. He found the precise tipping point of this cosmic battle. If a white dwarf's mass was less than 1.44 times that of our Sun, it could hold itself up forever. But if it was any heavier, the electron pressure would fail. Gravity would win. Nothing could stop the star from collapsing in on itself, an implosion of unimaginable violence that would squeeze matter into an infinitely small point. When he arrived at Cambridge, filled with the fire of his discovery, he was met with a chilling indifference. His assigned supervisor, Ralph Fowler, offered little encouragement. The true trial, however, came at the hands of Sir Arthur Eddington, the most eminent astronomer of his time, and a man whose word could make or break a career. In a public meeting of the Royal Astronomical Society, Eddington didn't just disagree with Chandrasekhar, he brutally ridiculed him, dismissing his work as a mathematical absurdity. He could not accept a universe where stars could simply vanish into nothingness. For a young man who had crossed the world, this public humiliation was a crushing blow. The weight of the scientific establishment felt as immense as the stellar gravity he had calculated. In the grand scheme of things, it seemed his solitary vision was destined to be a footnote. He persisted, however, publishing his work in the face of opposition. His mathematics was stubborn, it was elegant, consistent, and it did not care for the opinions of even the most celebrated astronomers. He knew he was right, and so he waited. Decades passed. The universe, in its own time, began to reveal its secrets. New discoveries, neutron stars, pulsars, and X-ray signals from the edges of space-time provided undeniable evidence for the kind of stellar collapse Chandrasekhar had predicted. The absurdity he had calculated was real, and it was given a new name: the black hole. More than 50 years after that lonely voyage, in 1983, the world finally caught up. Subrahmanyan Chandrasekhar was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics for his foundational contributions to understanding the life and death of stars. The crucial calculation, the one derided as a youthful error, was now celebrated as the Chandrasekhar Limit, a fundamental constant of the cosmos. The young man left alone on the deck of a ship had seen what a generation of geniuses had missed. That for the most massive stars, all the brilliance and fire is destined for a final, irreversible collapse into darkness. If you like this episode, you'll probably like my other episodes too. They're all available right now. Just search for more content.